Good. Great. Let me start. This is about planet groups. Our mission on the first slide to support employees, whatever their roles, who want to help their companies become more sustainable. That's our mission. And I'll tell you a bit about why it is that, what we want to do, and what exactly we are offering and how we're going to do that and how you can be involved. Let me tell you with a bit of a personal story of why we're doing it or explaining it to you based on my own biography. Our first why, which is probably also the why, the most important why you are here, and it is also the most fundamental reason for us working and engaging in this NGO to help the planet to regenerate. Climate change is scaring us. The destruction of nature is scaring us. For myself, I have 4 children. They are the age between 14 and 21. And but really, I only became active when they went demonstrating on Fridays for Future demonstrations in 2019. I was already knowledgeable a little bit, but it was only when they were taking to the streets that I was asking myself really what's going on. And then there was a German YouTuber Rezo, and he displayed really that we only have like 10 more years to really take action. And I could see my children, they never really asked me, but I could see them asking me, so Dad, why didn't you do anything about it? I mean, all the knowledge was there, why didn't you act? And I felt I wanted to have an answer. And so that's really what's got me to thinking and actually then redirecting my career and starting planet groups. But I'm not only doing it for my children, I'm also, of course, doing it for myself. And to illustrate that, when the kids were younger, we used to be at home and see the BBC series, Our Planet. You may have seen it. It's 6 CDs, and it tells you from pole to pole and the oceans and the mountain regions and the rainforest, and it shows you all these wonderful, wonderful pieces of nature and the animals and how really meticulously planned everything is. And I was recently seeing another David Attenborough film last year, and it was really killing me to think that maybe all these animals are not there yet anymore, or all these great plans, or we are currently destroying all of that. It's maybe endangered, and it was just killing me to see this, and really got me to want to do something about it, because I think it's we live on a great planet, on a marvelous nature, marvelous environment, and there's no reason, there's really no reason why we're destroying it, and I want to do something about it. So this is our most important why. Probably it is yours too. The second why, second value proposition of planet groups, if you like, it's jobs you love. It sounds like a big word, but we're serious about it. Myself, after university and a few years employed, I started my own company, which was in human resources management, a consultancy, a recruiting, skills assessment. And first it was really cool, made good money, was very happy and proud of what I was achieving. But the longer I worked in this industry, the more I asked myself, what is really the value I'm producing in this? I was working for all these companies, producing all these more or less relevant things, people in production and supply chain management and digital innovation and marketing and whatever. And the more also, of course, I got concerned about the planet, the more I asked myself, how relevant is this, what I'm doing? How relevant is it what these people are doing in sales and all of that? Are they really dedicating their time and their lives to the most important things that they could dedicate it to? There was this one guy from, I think, Facebook or from Silicon Valley, who once said, the most talented people in my generation are spending all their time to get people glued to a screen, and that's crap. And so I felt the same way, and I wanted to do something differently and dedicate my career, my talent, and my energy to something more valuable. And I mean, it's of course no surprise to you that I'm not the only one who thinks that way. You may have heard of the Gallup study that analyzes how engaged people are at work. And they regularly come up with findings that it's only about 14% of employees who are really attached, emotionally attached to their job. And apart from the whole communication and leadership part, the most important reason why they're not completely emotionally attached is because they lack value and purpose in what they do. There is another study out last year. They interviewed, I think, 22,000 people across the globe and asked themselves that question: do you want the world to be more sustainable and equitable after COVID, after the Corona crisis? And 86% said yes, they agree with that. They want the world to be more sustainable and more equitable. And you may think that's a coincidence because it's 14%. And of course it's a coincidence, but also it's not a coincidence. People are longing for more purpose in their lives, and people are longing for more purpose in their jobs. And people are increasingly looking around whether there may be better jobs. And so they're increasingly looking around for other companies. But of course, there are not so many options because not everybody can work in an NGO. And of course, that's also not the purpose. We shouldn't increase the number of NGOs, but we should change the way companies make business so that it doesn't destroy the planet, so that they're actually creating more value. And this is our second value proposition, our second why, that we can create these jobs that you love and that have purpose and value and meaning. And the great thing about it is you don't have to change companies to get that job. You don't have to find new colleagues. You don't have to accept a pay cut to get these jobs, because what we are helping people with is to change the job they have, to change the company they work in, because they're not alone. While we all may think that we're the only ones who are not happy in our jobs, or who are maybe happy because we have nice colleagues and we have challenges and personal development and we get good money, but we lack that why. Why are we doing this? Why am I spending my day from 9 to 5 in this job? Is this really the best thing I could do? And we want to help people to answer this question more with more commitment and more seriously with yes, this is because I can make it that way. And we are all creating the system we are in together, and we can all change it together. But it's not easy to do it on your own. So we help people who want to make their jobs more meaningful and their companies more sustainable. So that's our second why. And the third why, and that's actually very intriguing, we want to help businesses to be more successful. And that is really interesting, that there's no contradiction to the first two whys. Myself, when I was wondering whether I should do something differently, I thought actually about dropping my consultancy, leaving it. But then through some coincidence, I actually sold it to one of our customers, our largest one, which is the Kerche Group, the yellow high pressure cleaners. You may have heard of them. And I worked with them for another 3 years, which was a really, really valuable experience. And also because it's a really cool company. They have great products and a nice company culture. It's family owned, 2.5 billion revenue. So it's quite a corporation. And Kerche has 3 problems or 3 challenges to overcome on the business side. Like actually all companies have to overcome these challenges. The first challenge is saturated markets, because people don't need 5 high pressure cleaners. They need maybe 1, if they need 1 at all. And when they have 1, that's it. And what does Kerche do when everybody has a high pressure cleaner? So they have a problem. They have to find, develop all kinds of new products, or invest a lot in marketing, innovation, make people convinced that they need a better high pressure cleaner or other cleaning equipment, or they sell to other regions, but it's putting enormous pressure on them. And the second problem they have is that the high pressure cleaner is not rocket science. There are many companies who can design, manufacture a high pressure cleaner. Maybe it's not easy, but it's certainly not impossible. So there is, with increasing globalization, increasing number of companies that produce the same product, which of course is adding to the pressure that Kerche is feeling: pressure on price, pressure on innovation, pressure on marketing, pressure on always being ahead of the competition, which is a spiral that's of course not sustainable. At some point in time, because the other ones are in that spiral too, at some point in time, where is this going to end? And so this is a real problem that every company is facing. And the third problem, and we have somebody in the audience from the mining industry that told us this, is actually getting the natural resources, because for everything that we produce, we have to have natural material that we refine and make a product of it. And he told us that compared to 40 years ago, in order to get 1 kilogram of nickel out of the ground, you'd have to move 20 times more soil and earth than 40 years ago. So it's increasingly more challenging to actually get the natural resources. And the only reason they're still actually competitive is because it's so heavily subsidized by our governments, and the companies don't have to pay for these 20 times of soil and earth that is going to be moved and all the environmental destruction they're causing. because it's externalities. But still, it's not economically sustainable anymore. And more, of course, governments will make companies pay for these externalities. This is not going to go on forever. So with those three challenges every company is facing, it's a question of where's the answer? And actually, sustainability is the answer. Sustainability is the answer to engage your customers in a circular, steady, balanced relationship, where you actually retrieve the material that you give to them back, so you don't have to source it as virgin material. Differentiate your market, differentiate yourself in the market based on sustainability, that you're actually selling based on value that you generate and not on consumption or extraction. And attracting your employees by promising that whatever you sell, you're not destroying the planet, but you're actually helping regenerate the planet, and really trying to be more customer-centric in the sense that you ask yourself, what can I sell them? But ask yourself, what value can I generate for them? And so companies are increasingly understanding that sustainability is actually a way how they can outcompete the other players in the market, how they can stay ahead of the competition on something which is actually adding value to the planet. And so the smart companies are going strongly forward on sustainability. And there is a number of studies out that demonstrates how companies that are climate aligned, companies that are focusing on sustainability have better margins, have better revenues, have better evaluation by the stock markets. There is a study on our resources page on planetgroups.net that says that over the last 7 years, the most climate aligned companies were 6 times more successful, had 6 times more revenues than the least climate aligned. And there was a study 2017 by Boston Consulting Group that found out that they had actually up to 12% higher margins. And so if you think a company like having, I don't know, 100 million euros in revenues, 12%, I mean, that's 12 million more in profit. So sustainability is the way to outcompete the others and to stay ahead and invest in technologies that actually help to protect and regenerate the planet and take your customers along with it and sell based on value. That is the way forward, and that is the answer to the problems these companies are facing. So it's a win-win-win. and if there was ever a win-win-win, this is it. And this is what we're selling on. This is what we're working on. This is what we go to companies with, telling them, this is making your employees more happy and more engaged. This is helping your company to be more successful. And this is actually helping you and everyone around you to protect the planet and protect everything that you love. And this is our 3 whys. And I think that's quite convincing. Good. So what do we do? What's the what? Everyone can be part of the solution in every job. That is our claim. So you may think that, there are some people who are the solution and some people who are the problem, like the Chinese or the fossil fuel industry or cement or the governments, but it's not true. We are all part of the problem. We're all causing it. So we can also all be part of the solution. So we empower employees to become part of the solution in their company, whatever that company is doing right now. We create a group dynamic because it is too much for us to change ourselves, because we are in a system and in a very deep and stable and structured system. So we cannot change this ourselves. We can only change it in the group. And we tell a new story, and that new story is that it is not about avoiding something horrible in the future, which is beyond our sphere of influence anyway, but this is about creating something positive for us in our company, in our environment here and now. And that way it will also create a better future. But it's not about, climate change 50 years from now or net zero 2050. This is about adding value to our lives and our customers here and now. And this is the story we tell. And you can do that from 9 to 5. You don't have to wait for after work until you create value. You can do this right now at 9 o'clock in the morning. I can do this now. And this is actually very rewarding and adding a lot of purpose and meaning and motivation to your life, even in difficult times as we have them right now. This is how it works. You see here, that's a company, the circle. And who is in charge of sustainability in a company? You may wonder, and people may want to say, well, this is the sustainability department is in charge of sustainability, if you have one. But that's not true. The sustainability department is only helping. It's like the human resources department is not in charge of leadership. because the leaders are in charge of leadership, and the human resources department helps the leaders to train, set targets, monitor, and accompany and facilitate that. So the sustainability department does the same to management, because it's management responsibility to be purely planet positive, sustainable, regenerative. It's product design, it's production, it's supply chain, it's sales, it's marketing, it's human resources, it's IT, it's facility management. They are in charge of sustainability, and the sustainability department is helping them. Setting targets, monitoring the process, entering alliances, training, teaching, distributing the message, all of that. So where do the planet groups come in? Planet groups, it says here, are groups of employees who support their companies to become planet positive, and we support the planet groups. So planet groups are not there to have their company be planet positives, but to help them become, because this is a change process. This is a massive transformation that we're talking about. Because companies, of course, they are not planet positive, they are not regenerative, they are not climate positive, they are destroying nature. All of us are. And every company is it's a boat, it's a tanker. And even if you have only 30 people, you already have your established processes and your established customer expectations and your established products and services. If you want to change that, and we're not talking about a 10-degree change, we're talking about at least a 90-degree change, but probably more like 120 degrees. We have to go somewhat backwards and really engage in a completely new way of thinking products and thinking services and thinking our customer relationship. To get that change process on the road and to sustain it, we need everybody on board, because every organization, every system will always immediately want to go back to its normal state or its previous state of normal. And the planet groups are there to make sure that the company does not go back, that it keeps turning. So the planet group is basically a change agent. It's a new entity in the organization that drives, supports, and motivates the change. And always based on the win-win-win story that we have told you above. This is not against management. This is not against the employees. This is not against the suppliers. This is with everybody, because we all have everything to win, to gain, to benefit from this. And the planet groups, they just keep telling the story, ask questions, motivate everybody. They just are there to keep the system in motion. That's their role. I'll give you 3 examples. We are very new, so these examples are a kind of conglomerate of stories that we have seen happening or that we want to see happening. So first we asked Sheila. Sheila works in purchasing for a toy producer. She wants to work in a company that protects the planet, that is regenerative, planet positive, that gives back to the planet more than it takes from it. But she's not. Her company is completely not sustainable. But she wants to work in a company, so she's looking around, is there maybe a different job? But actually she likes her colleagues, she likes her job. But she's not an expert in sustainability, so she is also afraid to speak up, because people will ask her, so what do you suggest? And then she has no answer. So she turns to us and asks us for support. And the first thing we do is we talk to her, and then we help her to get management attention and management buy-in. Because as it turns out, many of her colleagues and also many of management are feeling the same way. And they're also seeing, all the challenges on the business side that I have mentioned above, and they say, yeah, well, let's give it a try. It's actually also a good approach to, engage our employees, to support an agile company culture, to support cross-departmental collaboration. It's really employee-driven. It creates a lot of positive energy. Let's do it. So a planet group is started. And together, the company kicks off initiatives for circular gaming, so retrieving material. And, games is something that you do in a certain age group, and then people throw it away, and they're not throwing it away anymore. They heavily invest in plastic reduction, and they invent a new play in nature product, which becomes a great success. They purchase their energy from renewable sources through a power purchasing agreement. They also change their canteen food. They actually go into some contracts with Solidarity Agriculture, which is regenerative from their environment, where they also go on company outings to visit the farms there. They increase the plant-based part of their diet, and they also engage in a ride-sharing commute system with the employees, and they have bees actually on company premises. So also have these really nice, fun things and also important things. And it really changes the way people feel in their company, and it creates a new sense of purpose and value for the employees in that company. So Sheila's very happy, and her management is too. Let me give you a second example. We ask Ali. Ali works as a sustainability manager for a medical technology company. He's understaffed. He has one employee, and he's always running against, the previous thinking. Oh, we have to make money. This is not the bottom line. What do I do? What do you want? So he hopes that the Planet Group can help him to gain momentum, outreach, and more traction in the business. And as it turns out, there is huge interest among the workforce, and also management says, yeah, well, why not? If that helps, if that makes us more successful, let's try. And the employees want it, so the management also doesn't really have a choice. And some of them are also aware. And so the Planet Group ends up not only driving sustainability, but also cross-departmental collaboration and fun, because there is all of a sudden marketing people that also engage in projects to improve the supplier relationships, and there is IT people that bring in their ideas on product design and a customer relationship. So it really creates a new sense of pulling on the same in the same direction or in the same rope. So after a year, the Planet Group has helped to reduce waste substantially and emissions with that going along. The company is currently developing new products as a service offering. So instead of selling their equipment, they're actually leasing it out and maintaining it. And after 3 years, they take it back, refurbish it, or just repair it and leave it with the company. And the longer it lasts until it breaks down, the more money they make. So they have a great incentive to actually build really durable, sustainable, and easily maintainable equipment, because the more easy it is, the more money they make, and the customer, of course, is happy because they always have the state-of-the-art equipment there and always somebody who's maintaining and warranting it. So they're very happy and very successful, and doing great things. They also changed their car policy to completely go renewable with their electric vehicle fleet. They offer charging stations for employees, so people actually are incentivized to actually let them also fill up their electric vehicles on premises without money, which is a great benefit they can give to the employees. One third example, Andrea. Andrea is a third-generation entrepreneur and owner of a small company that services electrical machinery and engines. So Andrea is very concerned because her granddad founded the company in 1952, and she feels very responsible for the families of her employees and for the community she is operating in. But her company has so far been working a lot in mining and carbon-intensive industry. So, for example, they are repairing the big electrical engines for these huge lignite coal mine excavators. And so they're really a victim, actually, of the energy transition because they're losing 10% of their business every year. They're also a lot in fossil fuel power plants. But she says, well, this is happening, and it's good that it's happening because it's important for the environment. So she wants to, move forward and be a pioneer and make actually sustainability a business case. She doesn't want to wait and be a victim. She wants to actually drive that and benefit from it. They started Planet Group. The employees are a bit skeptical at first, but they see the necessity to change, and they think, well, if it's going to happen anyway, let's shape it. Let's drive it ourselves. And so together they adopt what they call a smart electrification campaign, which is based on 3 pillars. One is they help their customers to save power and to also save money with smart demand management. So they actually use the power in times when it's cheaper. They help their customers to go renewable and also have the microgrids on premises. And they invest a lot with partners in smart maintenance and preventive maintenance programs, which actually helps everybody to reduce costs a lot. And the 4th thing that they do, which wasn't even planned, they give loans to their employees who want to install solar power on their roofs or who want to change their heating to heat pumps. And actually they have, technically skilled employees. So they also help actually in installing the solar power on the roofs and then changing the heat pumps. And they all save money with it at home. So they're very excited and very happy, and they feel positive. They tell it to their friends. And so this is becoming a new business. They're actually financing and installing renewable energy and heat pumps for their communities. And it's really expanding a lot without that they planned it. So now they actually have which is really the fastest growing element of the business strategy is now actually renewable energy, providing it to the communities. So it's a great success, and they're all very happy, and they're actually now becoming, you know, really a pioneer and benefiting a lot from the energy transition and from sustainability. So 3 examples, and you may want to know, so how did we do it? How will we have done it? It's actually not easy and not difficult. It's actually simple. I think Paul Polson of Unilever, he said that once, that climate action, it's not easy, but it's simple. We have the solutions. We know what we have to do. We know that we'll benefit from it. The difficult part is the change. So it's not easy, but the solutions are not complicated at all. So what we do is, the first thing is we build trust. We have a call with the employee or with Andrea or with Ali, and build trust in us, build trust in the planetgroups process, and build trust in themselves. Because let's face it, they are scared. Something new is coming and they don't know how it works. They don't know how it will play out. And we tell them, there are examples of companies who have done it. They're doing very well on it. So you can do that too. You know your products, you know your customers, trust it, trust yourself. We get buy-in, you know, if it's employee driven, we get buy-in from management. If it's sustainability driven, we also get buy-in from top management or from the owners. We design the process together, which is usually a workshop, very basic, but it's important that people feel that the workshop is fun, that they have impact and that they enjoy it, that they sense a new feeling of belonging and purpose, and also a possible future, which they find attractive for themselves and their company. We set up a planet group structure, depending on the size of the company, that is more or less complex, because the planet group itself should not have more than 25 people. So in large companies, it's a more complex structure with a smaller planet circle and a larger planet forum, but basically 20 to 25 people who drive this transition and change. We support the planet group with an individual consultant from our NGO, and which is very important, we organize exchange, because we are social animals and we find it easier to change and to drive things, and we generate energy when we talk to other people. So we organize regular meetups with other planet groups, and we are currently building a collaboration platform, which we call the PlanNet. It's an internet platform where you have access to experts, where you have access to other planet groups and can exchange, depending on what solution you're driving, depending on what position you're in. What can I do in marketing? And you get in touch with other marketing people and see what they have done and how they have done it, and learn from the pioneers, learn from best practice, and also learn from your mistakes and learn from other people's mistakes. The last thing, very important, celebrating the successes, celebrating marketing, what we have achieved, and being proud of what we do, because it takes courage and to tell everybody what we have achieved and to tell everybody that we are on this process is very inspiring and energizing for us and the company. But also, we want to create a societal momentum. We want to have companies move because they see other companies move. I can give you this one example from Care, the company I worked with. In the village next to them, 10 kilometers away, there is a company called Stihl. They're also a world market leader in the saws, the orange equipment for woodworking. And they have a very competitive relationship. So whenever Stihl is doing something, the cashier is doing it too, and the other way around. So they're really observing each other closely. So if you want cashier to change, you have to get Stihl to change, and the other way around. And that's why celebrating is so important and communication is so important, to make everybody want to do it too, to create this FOMO effect, the fear of missing out. So marketing is not only helping the companies to make the brand more valuable and engage the customers, it's also helping the overall transition that we're all driving for. Good. So we started it. This is our core team. This is me, this is Susan, who is here, this is Stella, Kevin, and Andreas, who are not here today, and Vincent. We started it. And while the idea was born more than a year ago, we built this actually since, Susan, October, November. This is when we really set our mind on it and said, yeah, let's do it. We don't know how it'll play out, but the idea is convincing, let's do it. And this is what we built. And we have come very far. And now we want to scale it, and we want you to scale it with us. We are established as a consultancy in purpose or steward ownership. So we have statutes that we can never sell this company. We can never take any profits from this company. Everything that we earn has to be invested in its purpose. And we have the Purpose Foundation as a veto shareholder. And they make sure that we'll never change these statutes or that we, increase our salaries to astronomical sums. And so we consider ourselves an NGO because we are only working for the purpose, and we're working with volunteers, and all of like the workshop formats or everything we do, we'll all put it open source, available to everybody, because it cannot be copied often enough. We finance ourselves from the companies we work with. So when there's an employee coming to us and asks us for support, we do everything free of charge. But when we have buy-in from management, there is a contract and they pay money for our services, which at the moment, because it's a pilot agreement, is between 500 and 1,000 euros per month. So between 6,000 and 12,000 euros per year. For that, the company gets a certain number of workshop days, a certain number of individual consultancy, and access to our planet, and access to the meetups with the other planet groups. So you get like a certain budget. If you expand that and need more, then you pay a bit more. But this is like the regular subscription, monthly based, and that should refinance our operations actually quite easily once we have grown to 5,000 planet groups at some point in time, which is the target, because we want to create societal change. We do need money for the ramp up phase, for the growing up phase, but we're currently, developing a crowd investing campaign and giving out loans at 5% interest. So if you have money available and you want to invest it in a really promising startup that possibly change a lot of companies to the better, then let us know. We'd be happy to help you. Good. So this is us. This is how you can join. You can make us happen by becoming a planet group, starting a planet group in your company. And as we said, regardless of your position, if you're in IT or marketing or product management, or if you're the owner or whatever, just let us know. The only thing you have to do, send us an email or give us a call and tell us, I want to have a planet group in my company. And then we take you by the hand, and together with you, we design the process. If you're self-employed or unemployed, or you have no company, you certainly have friends, people in your network who have one. Share the news with them and share our presentation with them, which is also online on our resources page, and have them get in touch with us. We are currently at 3 planet groups. It's very interesting. The one planet group has 80 employees. One planet group has 1,600 employees, and the third planet group has 9,500 planet groups in Germany alone. So it's one of the big 4 auditing companies. So if you ask yourself, what companies are we focusing on? Between 80 and 9,500 employees in Germany is the spectrum. And actually 2 of them are production, one is only consulting. So basically every industry. We also work on what we call scope 0 emissions, so also the effect and impact that you have on society. So for example, consultancy companies, media companies do not have such a big like emissions in terms of actually emitting carbon in their operations. They have a huge impact, a huge footprint in actually the products that they're offering and the money they are distributing in the content that they are delivering to the customers. So there's a lot that they can do as well. So start a pilot company and let us know if you want one. You can work with us as a volunteer. We are calling out to enlarge our team. We need more manpower, more woman power, more resources. Let us know. We have what we need on workshop facilitation, fundraising, graphic design, PR, customer service. We have it on our website. If you have time to spare, let us know. We'd be really, really excited to work with you. We want to grow internationally. So if you want to have planet groups in your company, in your country, let us know. We are completely virtual, so we are based in Germany and the UK ourselves, but if there is a company in Belgium or South Africa for that matter, we can work with that company as well. Only, time zone constraints, language constraints, maybe cultural constraints make us want to have also subsidiaries in other countries as time goes by. But at the moment, we can start really with a company in Canada too. It's just the time zone difference that maybe is a bit challenging. And the last thing for our planet collaboration platform. We'll need experts to facilitate actually the groups, the subgroups on certain topics. So if you like are a consultant or a researcher and you'd like to get in touch with companies who are interested in your solutions, you can let us know, and we perhaps can set you up on the planet. Good. So now I told you a lot. I don't know if I made it in half an hour about us, about how we work and how you can be involved. And this is what's in it for you. You know, jobs you love, successful business, and a planet that heals, and together creating a better world. And we'd love to do that with you and grow this and make this an enormous success, because we all want it. We really all want it.